Testing 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, welcome back everybody to LSR. Today we are streaming live on Lightning Speed Racing for a very interesting tier. As you can tell by the title, this is Group 3. The first time we are live streaming, the first time we are actually in a lobby for this brand new division. And I know that sounds a little bit of a shock, I guess, but I'll explain more about it in a moment. But today we are racing around the Monza circuit. This is the Italian Grand Prix, and this is going to be pre-season testing for Group 3. Of course, more on that in a moment. But I want to talk about this track. This is the second shortest track on the Formula 1 calendar, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza circuit. It's got 11 corners to make up the 5.7 kilometers of the circuit, and it's got 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking as well. I am Formula Jonah, co-owner of Lightning Speed Racing, also founder of Lightning Speed Racing, and I'll be commentating during this preseason event. And I do apologize if I'm a little rusty, but I'm kind of just getting back into this. It's been, I don't know, at least 3 months since I've commentated, so just kind of getting back into all this. But thought it'd be cool to live stream our Group 3 race and give our drivers an idea of what to expect for the Group 3 season. And let's talk about this. This is LSR Group 3, our third Formula 1 division. Yes, you heard me correct. Third F1 division. Group 1 taking place on Saturday. That is our primarily biggest division, I guess you want to say. It's our big division. That's where everybody goes, is Group 1. You got the best drivers, best commentary, all that sort of thing. That's Group 1. Usually I'm commentating Group 1 whenever I can. And so you can find me there, usually doing all that. Group 2 is our secondary division, where we have a lot of quick drivers, and really it's just the chill tier. That's what a lot of drivers nicknamed it. It's the chill tier. But it's also pretty competitive as well. I think there's a lot of drivers that are in Group 2 that really show that they have the pace to be in Group 1. And some of them, like myself, actually can't race in Group 1 due to the times and days and all that sort of thing, so they're able to race in Group 2. And then we have now Group 3, which is basically our new division. It's trying to get these new drivers in, and it's also for drivers that weren't able to make the other two tiers, didn't get a full-time drive, or maybe weren't as fast as the drivers in Group 2 or 1. So that's kind of our goal there. Now, you may recognize a few names. There's a few names on the grid that are actually not a part of Group 3. They're actually a part of the other two tiers, but we brought them in here to kind of boost numbers. So we try and get them in to just race as best as possible. So you'll see names such as the Group 2 Season 3 champion, Crooner. He's driving for McLaren right now. Bamboo Vegas. And then we also have Kev Prod as well. Those three are actually Group 2 drivers. Same with Kevin Cal. Those four actually are Group 2 drivers. Then we also have Spenny Pubster, in the AlphaTauri. He's actually a Group 1 reserve. So he's in here just to kind of fill the numbers kind of thing. Group 3, the full season will look a little bit different than this, but the full-time drivers for Group 3 are as following: Tommy, Albrich, another one, Fireball, Mayhem, Wella, I'm going to pronounce it as that, Kaz, and then Kendricks, and then Spider. And there's a few others as well. A few of them weren't able to join for the session itself, so that's why that we have a few drivers in to kind of just be here and race. So anyway, that kind of completes my rundown of what this division is in terms of days and times. Right now, it's currently racing at 3 o'clock Pacific time. I do believe that's 6 o'clock Eastern time, and that is, I want to say 11 o'clock British time, so quite late over in the European side of things. But don't worry, this may not officially be the time. It could be as well. Honestly, we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. It depends on attendance. Right now, our attendance looks pretty good for the first Group 3 season. Our thoughts are kind of like, we just want to get a tier going. That's kind of the thought here. So we're going to have low attendance for the first couple of races until we can kind of build it up. It's already gotten a lot of drivers in already, so we're kind of cool with that. But what I can tell you is that the times and days are not officially confirmed. So for any Group 3 drivers, just wanted to let you know I am sorry, first off, for not giving you guys an exact time and day of like, this is what? Oh, great, we have Glab the Great joining us in this session. So that means we'll get 15 drivers on the grid for the first Group 3 preseason race. And he's another full-time Ferrari driver in Group 3. But yeah, Group 3 drivers, apologies for kind of the uncertainty in when the tier is actually taking place. I know that will affect your decision on when you can race and all that sort of thing, but we're going to try and get the best time possible for you all to race, and hopefully we can find a time that everyone is happy with. But of course we can't please everyone, so we'll see how that works out. We have another driver joining. I actually don't know who this is, but I'm assuming it is another driver that has been already discussed with the admins. You know, some of these drivers that join, myself actually don't know who they are, but the admins do. So don't worry, they're all drivers that we know, and or someone knows this person. And what I mean someone, I mean one of the admins, and so they're trusted, and we've talked it over. And actually, it may be a driver that is from Group 3 that just has a different name. This one as well, Habskill. I have not seen this driver yet. Also, you may see a few new drivers coming in, and that's kind of why I don't know some of these guys. And the reason why is because this one is kind of like this Group 3 preseason test. It's about kind of getting drivers in. So some of these drivers are here to test as well and see if they'll be available for Group 3, see if they can race in Group 3. So we may see a few new names, and we may see some uncertainty as well on where people's pace are. That's kind of what we might be seeing today. But nevertheless, we're getting some racing. That's the goal here. We're getting some racing, and it's going to be fun. So we'll see how that all works out. I do want to say thank you to our commentator, James, for streaming Group 1, a very exciting race, of course, in Monza. Actually, this whole weekend of preseason testing at Monza has been really, I guess, unexpected. I didn't even know it was going to be happening. I didn't plan for it. No one planned for it. It was kind of something that everyone was just kind of available for. We just kind of thought, like, why not? Let's do it. As a lot of people were busy watching the 24 Hours of Daytona, as we see another one almost spinning in the wall there at turn 6. Exited the second Lesmo there. Thankfully, he avoided the wall there. So that is all good. But yeah, we also might see a few crashes as well. Group 2 just recently happened. I heard there was a little bit of a chaos session in terms of like a few crashes happening. It seems like there was a glitch or two. Seems like everything's going good right now, but one of the reasons why we don't have Monza on the calendar is because of how many crashes it provides. That's why we have it on preseason. That's why the admins chose it for preseason, because it's like, we love the track. It's a great track. We love Monza. Problem is that it does cause a few incidents or two. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, we only have 5 lap times on the board as we approach the 3-minute mark. Tommy, fastest lap time is a 120.1, 8/10 ahead of Albridge in the Williams, I do believe that is. Can't tell. Every team is blue, so it's really hard to tell exactly what team is which. I think he's in the Williams. So yeah, that's kind of the grid right now. Another one in P3 with a 121.1. And as I mentioned previously, the times are going to be a little bit kind of uncertain. So it kind of gives a little bit of an uncertainty into this whole session and makes it kind of spicy as well. So it should be pretty cool. But anyway, do let us know down in the comments if you guys are excited for Group 3 and the rest of LSR Season number 4. And if you guys have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments below. I will try and respond to every one of you. As I mentioned, I am the co-owner of LSR and founder as well of Lightning Speed Racing. So hopefully, I like to think I have a lot of knowledge on what goes on here in the league. So I try my best to know everything about the league. But I've been kind of stepping a little bit back and letting the admins and everybody else kind of take control, just because I don't want it to just be me at the top. I want it to be a shared project, and that's exactly what's happening for Season 4, and the project has already been going on since Season 3. But yeah, Season 4 expected to be very, very exciting. It's going to be a great season. I definitely think we have a lot of drivers on the grid. I mean, we're opening up our 3rd division, and we already got 17 drivers, and that's pretty awesome. And again, these are drivers that are all part of different divisions and stuff like that. So this won't look exactly like this. This won't be the grid. I'd say half of these guys are full-time Group 3 drivers, and some of them are Group 3 reserves. I think we have 2 or 3 that are reserve drivers. But yeah, Season 4 going to be a very exciting season. I definitely think it's going to be one. We got a lot of exciting drivers on the grid, and we have a lot of competitive sessions to come. A lot of new faces, a lot of returning faces. One of the drivers I'm most excited to see is my good friend Forzan, who helped found LSR. He is back full-time in the McLaren seat in Group 1. Used to be teammates with him. We actually won the Constructors back in Season 1 with Red Bull. That's when I used to be competitive. But yeah, Forzan's back. Great to see him back on the grid. The introduction of a few more drivers as well. We got Speed Queen. Great driver, our first female driver on the grid. Really happy to have her on board for the full season of LSR. And she actually really impressed the whole grid, I gotta say. Got her first win in the first preseason race. So already shown that she's got some pace for the possible championship. And we got the normal faces of Mango, B-Tom, Sev, you name it. You know, all the drivers on the grid in Group 1. Group 2... gonna be really interesting. I'm sure you guys tuned in to the Group 2 Hungary stream. That was it was a great race. I was racing it. It was really hard actually to keep up with the rest of the pack because there were so many competitive drivers on the grid for Group 2, and it should be a great season in the secondary division as well. We actually have a few drivers in Group 2 on the grid today, including my good friends Bamboo and Crooner and Kevin Kell. Those three definitely good friends of mine, and they've been racing with us for quite some time as well. Kevin Kell actually is the Group 3 manager as well, so anybody looking to get information on Group 3, he's the guy to contact, or myself or any of the other admins, but he's the guy that manages it all and does a splendid job of it as well. So anyway, we have some other drivers setting some quicker times. Qualifying is technically complete. Habskill in the Red Bull, a new driver, and same with Fly with Stefan. Two new drivers I haven't seen before. I'm assuming they are from another league, but I'm assuming the admins have already gone over who is what. And remember, guys, this is a session where we're kind of allowing a few drivers in to kind of test and see how their pace is going to be, and maybe they'll be joining us throughout the season as well. So we could see a few drivers that aren't even in the league yet participating. And don't worry, I know how that can sound, because sometimes it can sound like, oh, we have a new driver coming in and we have no idea what their pace is going to be, and they're going to... well, who knows what it's going to be like, and then they'll just crash the entire field out. I've seen it before in league racing. Don't worry, it's not like this. As we see qualifying officially end for the first preseason race here in Group 3, and we will get underway for the official race in just a few moments. So, Tommy setting the early pace in the Mercedes car. Full-time Group 3 driver as well. Well, 120.1 could be the driver going for the Group 3 championship. The first ever Group 3 championship at that. Habskill in second. And Fly with Stefan completing the top three. Kev Prod, a Group 2 driver. Fourth with Albrecht in fifth. Another one sixth. Kendricks and Kaz in the Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin completing the top 8. So that completes things for Group 3 qualifying. We head into the race now, and I'm just praying that no one crashes into turn 1 because that can happen very, very easily. So anyway, we will see how this works out. I'm monitoring the chat as well. And then I think we're also trying to get Glab the Great back in. He was able to join for a bit, but I think there was something going on with the game. Sometimes the game can kind of be like that, so it's unfortunate. Albrecht is reporting some Wi-Fi issues, so I'm wondering if he will be able to rejoin the session. We have another driver joining, but I think it's a little bit too late for him to join, so he'll have to spectate. And this is great, honestly. We have a bunch of new drivers coming in, and I'm happy because this is showing off that maybe we get some new drivers in. Maybe potential Group 3 drivers as well to fill the grids. And we'll see how that works out. So anyway, we are moving on as we actually have a Group 3 driver joining. Unfortunately, it's a little too late. And look at that grid. We already have a very competitive grid for Group 3. So, I'll let Crofty go ahead and go through.
Their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So Crofty's taking us away.
The drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
So as mentioned, Crofty is coming in just to kind of commentate, even though I'm commentating today on this this formation lap. That's why we have broadcast on. It's a setting that the admins and myself have gone over and feel this is the setting we're going to be doing for this season, and it's worked. It's worked every time. No glitches. So anyway, here we go. Group 3 is about to get underway for the racing here today. 18 drivers join us on the grid, and the lights are about to go out here at Monza for the first Group 3 session. The lights are out and the racing begins. It's a great start for some of the drivers back at the grid. A few crashes going on there. Tommy leads us away. Habskill trying to make a move on Tommy into turn 1. Is a Red Bull gonna get ahead? No, it's not. There's a Ferrari going a little deep into the corner there as we have a few drivers going a little wide into turn 1. Ferrari coming back on track. I think that might have been Fireball who went a little off track there. And Mayhem has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. What has happened there? Few crashes going on at turn 1. That's to be expected, though. It is Monza after all, as the Red Bull is unfortunately out of the session. That's not. Oh, and that's the race leader, Tommy, who was spun possibly at turn 4, and it was going all so good. He started off on pole position, and he's, I think, spun the car a little bit again. He's back out on track. He's getting overtaken by another one. Down to 14th position is the Mercedes driver. Oh, and there's the Ferrari in the wall. That's Fireball. Going off at turn 6, another place for these drivers to unfortunately have contact with the wall with, as it is a very difficult corner to get completely right. Habskill leads us away from Kev Prod, then comes Fly with Stefan, and then Kendricks and Albrecht side by side. Williams v Alfa Romeo down to turn 11. The Williams and the Alfa side by side. Who's going to get ahead? Is it Kendricks? Is it Albrecht? It is Albrecht that gets ahead of the Alfa Romeo for the time being. What about straight line speed though? Power is very much critical for around here at Monza. This is the temple of speed after all, as Kev Prod does get ahead of Habskill into turn 1. The Haas leads away, and the Red Bull gets a very bad exit out at turn 1 and 2. The Mercedes is now on the back as well, as Fly with Stefan is now into second position. So turn 1 not going good for a lot of drivers. I think Fireball outbraked himself, unfortunately, had to go wide there. That's why he came back on track from a weird position. Thankfully, he's still in our race, though, as he's down in P17, so that should get, I mean, if there's a safety car, it should allow him to get back into this race. We also have Wella in the Haas, full-time Group 3 Haas driver as well. I wonder if he was collected in a bit of that chaos that happened at turn 1. As we have Bamboo making a move on Kaz in the Aston Martin, full-time Aston Martin driver. We also have Tommy in the Mercedes looking to make a move on Kaz. Let's see if he can do side-by-side. Oh, and that is the other Mercedes in the wall at the exit of Ascari chicane, and that is a virtual safety car that has been called out on track. Unsurprisingly, that is the Mercedes crashing now, and that is, of course, the VSC coming out, like I mentioned, unsurprisingly, because that is a crash, and drivers have to go slow around it. So Tommy, unfortunately, was not able to make that move on the Aston Martin, as we have Habskill in the pit. Oh, and out of the race. Okay, that's a little surprising. Wonder why he has retired from the session. Not exactly sure why, as the McLaren sticking right behind Wayne Morris. Wayne is actually a full-time McLaren driver, but he joined a little bit late, and the McLarens had already been picked. So that's why, as Habskill is out. I wonder if, since Fly with Stefan and Habskill joined around the same time, I wonder if they're friends, and since Fly with Stefan was no longer in the race, I wonder if Habskill was like, I'm out, I gotta go do some other stuff, which is totally understandable. So anyway, we move on. I'm gonna get all the stuff on here. So, Glad but the Great says he barely... Oh, hold on, I gotta read the comment. 1 second. It went away off my screen. Let me just quickly read. He said, barely didn't make it into the race, but I'll be back on the grid next week. Yeah, great to see you on the next week grid. Glad the Great. I'm sorry that you weren't able to get into the session for today's lobby, as we have the Alpines going side by side. But yeah, sorry you weren't able to get in. Hopefully we see you in the next race, and you'll be able to get a good result at the first race in USA. One of the Alpines going very slowly. That is Spiderweb in the Alpine going into the pit lane. I wonder if there was a collision. Not exactly sure, as the Xbox driver comes into the pits. Is that a drive-through? Yes, it is for the Alpine. I'm not sure why, as Keep Pushing leaves the session. I wonder if that's a Wi-Fi issue or intentional, not exactly sure. But it is a drive-through penalty for Spider. And I'm wondering why that is the case. I didn't see it come up on my screen. It's possible it came up, though, and I just didn't see it. So, either way, he is down in P10 now, 19 seconds behind Kevin Cal in the Ferrari. Or is he in the Alfa Romeo? I think he's in the Alfa. Yep, he is. Ferrari and Alfa look very similar on the leaderboard. So Tommy back up into 6th position now. And he's going to look to get past the McLaren, who I think is supposed to be ghosted in this session. So he should get past very easily, unless ghosting's off, which I don't think it is, unless the McLaren rejoined the session. I'm not exactly sure. So Tommy's going to get past the McLaren side-by-side down to Parabolica. And Keep Pushing will stay in 6th. What about Crooner? Is he going to make that move as well? Doesn't look like it, but he's going to have a nice slingshot advantage to try and make the move on his teammate. And he's going to go side-by-side with the McLaren. I think Keep Pushing's back in the car. So he's down to 7th now. Crooner, look at the speed from the McLaren driver. Powering down with almost 220 miles per hour. The Group 2 champion is going to stay in 6th, though. It's Kendricks and Albrecht. Swap positions. So Kendra's up into 2nd now. Bamboo in the Alpine, 4th. Tommy in 5th for the Mercedes team with Crooner, and Keep Pushing in 6th and 7th for the British McLarens. Another one, fastest lap, a 123.146 in the AlphaTauri. Home race for AlphaTauri, even though this is just a preseason race, we like to go over some facts. It's AlphaTauri's home Grand Prix. Kind of, actually. Imola's more AlphaTauri's home Grand Prix, as it is closer. It's actually, Imola is actually closer for Ferrari than Monza is, looking at it as the whole country speaking. I think Ferrari's actually located in Modena or Maranello, so in that area, and Bologna is actually close by, as we have Tommy making them, or Crooner making the move on Tommy. Crooner is the Season 3 Group 2 champion, so understandable why he got past Tommy. But Tommy's coming back at him. Let's see if the Mercedes driver will be able to get past. Let's see what the speed is like for the Mercedes. He has DRS enabled, but Crooner really has some straight line speed in that McLaren. As he's going to pull to the outside line. Who's going to get ahead? Is it Crooner? Is it Tommy? They both leave enough space. Very clean racing, actually, between the two drivers. And Crooner stays ahead just for the time being. So Tommy down to 6th. He's going to have slipstream. I don't think he's going to make a Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso type of battle happen. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's from 2012, I do believe, the Italian Grand Prix at the Curve Grande. And that was when Ferrari v Red Bull happened. Vettel versus Alonso. And later in 2014, Ricciardo made that unbelievable switchback on Vettel himself at the Turn 4 chicane. A lot of great moves around that section of the track. So great to see, of course, as Kev Prod still leading us away by around 2.2 seconds to Kendricks in the Alfa Romeo, followed by Albrecht in the Williams, and Bamboo and Crooner 4th and 5th. So, we have 15 drivers still in the session, still enough for a race. I keep reminding myself that Group 2 started out with 9 drivers in Season 3, and it built up to have full grids. So, who knows what could happen. As Kevin Cal gets past, keep pushing in the McLaren, as we have a swap up at the front, Albrecht ahead of Kendricks. And Bamboo is now right on the back of the two drivers as well. So Williams v Alfa Romeo v Alpine. Alfa Romeo's home Grand Prix as well as a brand. Of course, the team is from Switzerland, and so it's not technically an Italian team, but it is Alfa Romeo, which is Italian. And they have a bit of a Italian, like there we go, on the back wing, you can see the Italian flag. I think the Italian Grand Prix is the one other race that has the most manufacturers from the place, other than Britain. Like I think Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and Ferrari are the 3 teams that are technically from Italy. And I say technically because, oh, and that is the Williams off the track. Whoa, okay. Albrecht saved the car. He did go into the bollard there, but it's all good, no worries. He moves on in 2nd position. I was watching the 24 Hours of Daytona, and there was a few cars that just went straight through the signs, and no one cared. No one cared. In F1, that would be like a massive penalty if you went wide or something like that. And it's all good as Bamboo moves into 3rd ahead of Kendricks. Alfa Romeo still looking to make that overtake, though, and repass the Alpine driver, but unfortunately he's going to be staying in 4th for just the time being. But look at the speed he's been able to gather out of turn 2. Let's see, is he going to be able to make that move? Bamboo defends the inside line, outside for the time being, then becomes the inside, as Bamboo will stay ahead of Kendricks for just the time being. Crooner a further 1.1 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo driver in P5, followed by Tommy, who's dropped back a little bit. 3.1 seconds is the gap between the McLaren and the Mercedes driver, as Tommy will stay in P6 just for the time being. Meanwhile, Kevin Cal in the 2nd Alfa Romeo is chasing down Tommy in that Mercedes. Kevin Cal might be a future Alfa Romeo driver in Group 1, as he was able to race for the team a race ago in Hungary. There may be a spot opening at Alfa Romeo. I'm not exactly sure at the time. But Kevin Cal could be a driver for Group 1 at Alfa Romeo. So we approach lap 8 out of 27. Still a ways to go in this Group 3 race, but I'm so far pretty impressed by some of the drivers. Of course, turn 1, a little bit of a crash there, but that's completely understandable because it's Monza. It's turn 1. What can you do? I think in every race there has been a crash. That's why Monza is not a part of this calendar, this full season calendar, because it is just something that is... I don't want to risk having bad racing, and I'm not saying that there's bad racing here, but I mean, there was a few crashes, and that's how it goes in league racing. So, gotta be mindful of that as well. So anyway, we move on. 9 laps now. Tommy and Kevin Cal. This is a close battle we're watching. There's also the battle for first. Wow, actually, I'm gonna pay attention to this. This is incredibly exciting. 5 or so cars involved in this. Oh, Albrecht is off the track at turn 6. Same place where Fireball went off. Tommy is approaching Albrecht now, so I think the Williams will just about stay ahead, but he's gonna have to continue to stay ahead if he wants to keep that position. We'll go back to that battle in a moment, but we still have this 4-car fight for first. Oh, car off the track. That is Tommy, I do believe, in the Mercedes. Oh, and he's retired from the session. No, it was going all so well in qualifying, especially pole position for the Mercedes driver, and it ends in retirement. Incredibly unfortunate. Albrecht into the pit lane as well for Williams. A little bit of, whoa, really big lag spike there. I'm not going to pay attention to that. Migrating host, what's happened here? Kevin Cal has left the session. What happened to Kevin Cal? I wonder if that's a lag issue or something like that, but that's our host gone. So it is, the host is now someone else. Whoever it may be, hopefully their connection is good. But hopefully Kevin is able to rejoin the session. I unfortunately cannot invite him since I have this weird glitch with crossplay lobbies. I'm not able to invite anybody. So hopefully Kevin's able to rejoin the session. I mean, I'll try and invite, but I don't think it's gonna... Yeah, see, this is the thing. I can't invite anybody. It says 0... See, I have friends, but it says no one's on here. It's that so there's this glitch where on crossplay, if anyone's keen to know what's going on with that, and the glitch is that if you have 100 friends or more on PlayStation, you can't invite anybody. You have that glitch. Here goes KevProd on Bamboo side by side. These guys are all friends, remember, so I'm sure they're wanting to keep it clean, but have some competitive racing as well. As Crooner in the McLaren looking to make this 3 wide. Here we go, Alpine, Haas, and McLaren. 3 wide, down to turn 1. And it is Crooner side by side with Bamboo in the Alpine and McLaren side by side. Crooner gets ahead, Bamboo down to second, and KevProd now in third. Bamboo's coming back at Crooner, though, side by side into Curve Grande. This is good racing between the French drivers as Bamboo is back into first position. Crooner into second now. Meanwhile, Kendricks into the pit lane, or out of the pit lane now for Alfa Romeo, exits in P7. So the Alfa Romeo into 7th position now. Just ahead of Spenny, we have Wayne Morris in the Ferrari in P5. Oh, and Kevin has requested to join. There we go. I can invite him. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Kevin. I can invite you now. Hopefully you're able to rejoin the session. Let's take a look at this battle. Bamboo versus Crooner into a sky chicane, and Bamboo spins. No! Oh, Bamboo has spun the car. KevProd is now on the back of Crooner. Thank goodness Crooner wasn't collected in that. Oh my goodness. That's unfortunate for Bamboo, who's going to exit in P4. Kevin Cal, or his ghost at least, is going to be in P3. I think he hasn't rejoined the session yet. As the battle continues for P1 here, Crooner and Kev have battled away for quite some time now. Crooner switching to the other side, getting into the slipstream of the Haas. He's going to look to the inside move. He's down the inside into turn 1. Crooner and KevProd side by side, and KevProd will just stay ahead of the McLaren driver, but Crooner's coming back. The straight line speed of that McLaren. He's gonna try and make that move to the inside line of Curve Grande. KevProd cannot do anything to continue to stay ahead of that powering McLaren, but he's gonna send it down the inside. Goes KevProd, a clean and nice move from the French Haas driver as he is up into first position now. What a move from KevProd. This is great racing as NYR sent it at the same time I do. Absolutely incredible racing from these guys, and this is what you get from racing here in LSR. You get great racing like this. This is awesome. And remember, viewers, this is a Group 2 battle here, and the reason why I say that is because those 3 drivers, actually the top 4 are actually all Group 2 drivers. That's why we're not allowing Group 2 or Group 1 drivers in Group 3 unless they are a certain amount of pace, because this happens. The top 4 are going to be all the higher up tier. For preseason testing, we're allowing it because it's preseason testing. It's not an actual result. But this is why. As KevProd into the pit lane, and hopefully we'll get this racing. I'm sure we'll get this racing throughout the Group 2 season as well. So this will be great. I am sure of it. So technically, Group 3 leader is Wayne Morris. So Wayne Morris is in P6 now. Bamboo in P5, coming into the pit lane for the hard compound tires. Hards for pretty much everybody. Crooner and Kevin Cal stay out on track. Same with Keep Pushing in the McLaren. Kendricks gets out in 4th, so ahead of Kev Prod, actually. So Kendricks has jumped these guys, now is in the fight. So full-time Alpine driver, actually, for Group 3. Could be in a shot at getting a really good result in this race and showing that off that he's got the pace for the Group 3 title. Kevin Cal up into 1st now, ahead of Crooner. So Crooner is going to look to re-overtake Kevin Cal, who is back in the car, thankfully. And they're side by side down to Ascari. Crooner is ahead. That is a spin. I do believe that is Albreach in the Williams. And looks like Wayne is now going to try and make that move on the Williams driver. I think the Williams will just stay ahead for the time being. Meanwhile, Kaz is down a little bit behind these guys. He's in this fight, though. Wella in the Haas as well is close to Kaz and could be making a move for 11th. As the two leaders do come into the pits. Kevin Cal and Crooner into the pit lane for Alfa Romeo and McLaren. Same with Keep Pushing. It's a double stack of McLaren. Kendricks will take over as race leader. And finally, we have a Group 3 driver leading the race. So that is Kendricks into the lead. Spenny in the AlphaTauri looking for the move on Kev Prod as well in the Haas. We'll see if he's going to be able to make that move. But yeah, truly amazing racing here in Group 3. And again, this is a mix between other divisions as well. So we can't really take this to be like, this is exactly how it's going to be in Group 3. But we can take a little bit of it as we see some Group 3 drivers out on the grid. And for a tier that was not existent a few weeks ago, to have racing happen, have a full-on excitement, basically. A lot of drivers in the chat. It's just great. It really helps me just to continue to have the passion of running the league, and I'm sure the same for the admin team as well. And this is exactly what we want. I want true good racing for this league, and that's my passion. I want to have this league succeed. I want to see it up there. I want to have racing at a high peak, but also people have fun. That's my goal, is have these drivers have fun, be excited after the race, and go like, that was a good battle, man. That's what I want. So hopefully we'll be getting that this season. It has been for the last 3 seasons, and it has been spectacular. And I'm hoping season 4 that will continue. NYR says, great commentary. See you later. And I'm assuming he's off to sleep. Yep. See you later, NYR. And we'll see him hopefully in Group 1 a little bit later on, as he is the full-time Red Bull driver. Red Bull have been doing a great job. Vacant and NYR showing off they have some great pace in Group 1. I've been keeping an eye on all the tiers, as I always do. But anyway, yeah, we should be heading into the final remaining laps of the LSR Group 3 Italian Grand Prix preseason race. And just for clarification on when season is starting, that's next week, my dudes. That's next week. We got a lot of exciting stuff happening. This was kind of the warm-up for this season. If you think this is exciting, just wait before the season gets underway. The United States Grand Prix kicks off on February 4th and 5th, and that will be at the respected times for the league, of course, as Spenny right in the back at Kev Prod. Let's see if the AlphaTauri on the 13-lap old hards will be able to make that move on the Haas. Around the outside, gets it going, and he keeps it ahead. So Spenny Pub into 2nd now. Kev Prod in 3rd, and another one into 4th for AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri running a really good race today, so that'll be cool to see how they perform throughout the season as well. I think another one might be part of AlphaTauri, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see how that all works out. And by the way, guys, LSR Season 4, like I mentioned, kicks off next week at USA. COTA International Circuit. Group 1, 2, and 3 all kick off. We will have live commentary, most likely for all 3 tiers. I think we will have vacant on comms for Group 2. James and either Breakfast Keen Speedy or myself will be on commentary for Group 1. Group 3, if I'm not commentating on Group 1, I'll commentate Group 3. We'll see how that works out. It really depends on when this tier is running. And for all our Group 3 drivers, if you're listening back on replay or listening live right now, and if you're doing so, great job. It's really hard to listen live and race at the same time. For all you guys, we will let you know when the tier is exactly happening. I don't want to leave you guys in the dark, and the admins and myself are working hard to figure out a solution for kind of like when this tier is going to be happening. We want to make sure that drivers can attend. Some of you might not be able to attend all the races due to the time. We're trying to work out a good time for the races because we want to make sure it's not too late for Europeans, and we want to make sure it's not too early for Americans. For me, I'm on the west coast of America, so the later the better for me. So this works out great for me. But of course, I know that there is a bunch of drivers that are not able to make this current time as well. So we'll see how that all works out. We'll make a decision that works out. In terms of the league itself, we got a lot of exciting things coming up. Of course, the season 4 is beginning soon. GT kicks off very soon as well. We have our races once a month for Group 3 and our LWEC Championship. Next one is round 3. I can't remember exactly what the race is, but we do have our 3rd edition of the Le Mans 20. Well, it's not 24 hours. It's the 2 hours of Le Mans. And that will be taking place somewhere in the spring, as it usually does. We've been doing this for the last 2 years in LSR, the Le Mans Special, and that'll be taking place on the GT7 game. And we are thinking it's going to be classic cars, classic Group C cars. So that should be fun. I will definitely be driving a Group C car at that stage, and for me, I'm a historian on Group C and just in general racing. I do a lot of endurance racing content. I'm also currently working on lots of videos for Daytona and all that sort of thing. So if you guys actually are interested in endurance racing content, definitely go check out my channel. It's called Formula Jonah on YouTube. That would be much appreciated if you can subscribe. And subscribe here while you're at it. You know, subscribe to LSR if you're not already. We're almost to 100 subscribers. It'd be kind of cool if we can get to 100 before Season 4 starts, or at least within the next week or two. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, that is a crash or a slow car. One of the Alpines. I think it was Spider. So not exactly sure what happened to the Alpine driver. Let's find him on the grid. He is going normally right now in P14 at the moment. We see a battle for P3 actually. Kev Prod versus another one. Let's take a look at this. The speed is what matters here at Monza. Tempo speed, as it's called. Reaching speeds of around 220 miles per hour. That's what another one's doing as he goes down the inside on the Haas of Kevprod. Let's see if he makes that move. Nice and clean. Oh, a little bit of wheel baiting between the two drivers. Wasn't totally fair, but it's all good. It's racing. Crooner has now joined the fight as well. Look at the power of that. Crooner's got some insane power on the straights. That includes flat-out zones of Curve Grande. And Crooner is up into 4th position now. Kev Prod down to 5th. Crooner is on 1 lap newer tires than the Haas driver, so maybe that's helping him a little bit more. Don't know exactly, though. But yeah, we got our Le Mans special coming up. We also have a league versus league event with another league, which I am very happy to talk about, but I am not talking about it right now because it's not officially announced. I will talk shortly about it in an announcements post, either posted by myself, one of the other owners, or admins, whoever's posting it. It will detail all the details on what you need to know for this special event coming up. But yeah, we are approaching the spring now. Season 4 gets underway very soon. Spenny's also looking for the move on Kendricks. I'm going to kind of watch out for this one. But yeah, we've had a nice Season 3. It's been pretty awesome to have Group 1. Group 2 has been building up really fast as a Crooner and another one swap positions. Actually, no, they haven't swapped positions quite yet. They're still side by side. The McLaren is side by side with the AlphaTauri. Another one. He's going to try and challenge it around the outside. He's looking to do it, but he can't make that move. Crooner actually gets a 3-second time penalty in the process. I wonder if he's trying to give space to another one. In the AlphaTauri, it's really hard to do so, especially at turn 4, to know like where the car is and try and keep it side by side. I've done it once or twice myself as well, and actually cut the corner intentionally or either accidentally, just to kind of give space to the other car itself, because I don't want to hurt the other car's race. I don't want to do that. So sometimes you have to bite the bullet kind of thing. You have to take the penalty just to save someone else's race. I know that kind of sounds like, I don't know the word, but anyway, yeah, I don't know if that exactly happened, but I just know from personal experience that's kind of what I do, especially here at Monza. I just let the other car go, or I intentionally get the penalty just so I don't ruin the other person's race. I'm kind of laughing right now because it's funny. As the Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri are side by side into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of a force off the track there, it seems, but it should be okay. A-okay for both cars, no damage, doesn't seem like it. Hard fair racing, I guess. I mean, at times people do kind of, I want to say it kind of looks like the car is pushing off the other car, but it's actually not. It's racing as well. That corner kind of looks like it. This is the same argument that people had with the Max Verstappen-Lewis Hamilton incident. As Bamboo Vegas gets past another one. I was going to say another one spun, but there's just a lot of overtaking going on right now. Look at this, a 4-car fight for 4th position at the current moment. So great to see this, of course. Albrechts as well could be joining the fight. The Williams driver in P8 as another one, and Kevin Cal swap positions. Kevin Cal up into 6th position for Alfa Romeo. How's everybody else doing? Keep pushing in P10 right now. Wayne Morris in P9. Kaz on the soft compound tires in P11. 22 seconds behind though. But he's going to stay ahead of Wella, I'm assuming, because he is on those softs. Fireball in the Ferrari P13 with Spider in 14th for Alpine. This is a test for a lot of drivers as Spenny comes into the pit lane. Same with, it's a double stack at AlphaTauri. That wasn't planned well, unless they can get this car out in time. Let's see. Pit stop for the AlphaTauri. It's actually a pretty good stop for both cars. Spenny exited the pit lane. Another one into the pits. Only lost about 1 or 2 tenths of a second there, so it wasn't too bad of a pit stop for the AlphaTauri crew. AlphaTauri did decide to put medium compound tires on another one, and Spenny's on the soft compound tires, so interesting to see how that worked out. As we have keep pushing, looking to make an overtake on another one. Around the outside goes the McLaren. Let's see how this is going to work out. Another one does stay ahead of the McLaren for just the time being, though. Meanwhile, Kendricks under pressure from Crooner in the 2nd McLaren. 8 lap-old hards compared to 11 lap-old hards. So Crooner should have a little bit more pace than the Alfa Romeo. Group 3 driver versus Group 2 driver. Let's see how this works out. Crooner picking the round the outside move at Parabolica. He's trying it, he's going for it, and he's pulling it off. Crooner is going for it, but then Kendricks just gets the better line. Crooner does have the DRS though, down to the turn 1. Remember, he's got a lot of straight line speed as well. Kendricks can't do anything to defend against the powering fast McLaren of Crooner. And the French driver just get ahead into P1. Kendricks actually looking for the move. He goes a little bit late on the brakes there, and that was Kendricks. That was Kendricks bad. I think he knows though, so he's gonna let Crooner past. So no harm felt there. I think he went a little late on the brakes there, and he acknowledges that, and he let Crooner past. And I don't think it gave Crooner damage, so it's all good. I think these two have settled their differences, and it's all good. Though they have lost a little bit of time to Bamboo Vegas, though, so that's a little bit of a downside. But it's not too bad of a downside. It's just racing after all. It's just a game after all. I understand if the drivers would be heated in a 24-hour race like the Daytona or Le Mans, but like here, it's a little different. Definitely a little different. It's still racing though. It is still racing. So Kendrick's 4/10 away from the McLaren of Crooner. 23 laps into this race out of 27. Yellow flag. What has happened? That's Kev Prod off the track. Whoa! Big crash with a Haas driver. That's the exit of Ascari chicane. A lot of spins at Ascari chicane. I'm sure you've noticed. It is a very difficult chicane to get right. No front wing for the Haas driver as well. He's going to have to definitely come into the pit lane. Speaking of Haas, they are actually the first team to reveal their livery for 2023. That'll be taking place on January 31st, which I'm not exactly sure what time that's going to be at, but it will be on January 31st sometime. As Spenny sets the fastest lap on the soft compound tires. He is on softs, and also he's a Group 1 reserve, so makes sense why he's flying out there. So the AlphaTauri driver in P6 hunting down the Elbreach in the Williams. Another one on the mediums as well. I wonder how that is going to work out. I mean, mediums will definitely last to the end of the race. Kaz on those 3-lap-old softs. I'm a little worried for him. Now 4 laps old because those tires can be quite old, especially towards the end of the race. You only want to go around 7 or 8 laps on the soft compound tires on this video game. So yeah, it's all good. So anyway, we move on. Lap 24 out of 27. Crooner leads us away by around 1.2 seconds, but he does have that penalty. So Kendricks is in the effective lead of the Grand Prix. However, Bamboo Vegas right on the back of the Alfa Romeo driver. Kevin Kalla and Elbreach closing in as well. Let's ride on board with the Alpine. Wow, look at the speed. The Alfa defends the inside line. I think the Alpha will just outbrake him. So Kendrick stays ahead of Bamboo, and Bamboo will just stay in P3. Smart move by Kendricks there. Defended the inside well, and then he braked a little bit later than the Alpine driver. And Bamboo was very respectful of that as well. He knew that the Alfa Romeo would probably have the better line into turn 1, and it would probably be best to stick behind and wait just a little bit longer to try to make that move in the Alfa Romeo. Still riding on board with Bamboo Vegas, since there is a second DRS zone coming up very shortly. Turn 5, exiting very well, and coming into turn 6, the second Lesmo. This is where drivers spin quite a bit if they go too wide off the curb. DRS enabled for the Alpine. He's going to have a lot of straight line speed. Kendricks doesn't really know where his car is going to go, and fair play, because Bamboo is just going to have the speed to just pass the... Oh, there's contact between the two! There's contact! Kendricks and Bamboo! They both reset to track. Kendricks, that was really late on the brakes. I think that was a little too late on the brakes from the Alfa Romeo driver. Our first major big incident there. And that is, unfortunately, I think Kendrick's fault, as he did brake too late there and went right in the back of Bamboo. So unfortunately, this is a preseason race, so there won't be any penalty. But if in real life, or not in real life, but if in the real season, that's what I meant, Kendricks would have gotten a penalty there. And drivers can report that is something that can happen during these preseason races, just in case, like if there's a huge incident, like for instance, if another driver takes out another driver, which very rarely happens in league racing, I must say. But if something like that happens, then definitely report. Please do so, because we don't want that driver participating on the league, even if it's preseason. It's still an official LSR race. So we want to take action into our own hands. But stuff like that, that's a penalty that will be enforced for the full season, not preseason. It won't really affect anything right now. So lap 26 is about to end, and lap 27 is about to begin of this Italian Grand Prix. Crooner has the gap to Kevin Kalla, and the Group 2 Season 3 champion should be winning this Italian Grand Prix, but I don't want to say anything too shortly, as anything can happen in league racing, as we have Wella coming into the pit lane to pit onto the soft compound tires for Haas, as Crooner starts the final lap of the LSR preseason Group 3 race. He's going to exit very nicely out of turn 2. We're just going to ride on board with Crooner for just a bit. Our race leader, and most likely will be our race winner as well of the Group 3 preseason race. And just a reminder, drivers that are in a top division, such as Group 2 or Group 1, most of them won't be allowed to race in Group 3, and that is because of, well, they're too fast. You know, Group 3 is supposed to be our lower division. We are allowing a few drivers from Group 2 to race in Group 3, and that is primarily because of pace. If they seem to be on similar pace to the time trial lap times or the pace from preseason of the Group 3 drivers, they are allowed to race. And only a certain amount of drivers as well are allowed to race from Group 2. Actually, Group 3 and Group 2 are very similar on pace in terms of just the pace general. However, there's some drivers that are very fast as well. So anyway, Crooner exits the final corner. A very good race from the McLaren driver, and he is going to win the first ever preseason race for Group 3 here in Italy. Kevin Cal will come home in P2 with Albrecht most likely coming in third, but he's actually just spun the car in the final corner, and he will actually lose the top 3, so Bamboo will take P3 ahead of Kendricks in the second Alfa Romeo. Albrecht will come down to P5, and if it wasn't for that spin, he probably would have gotten third in the Williams. Spenny in P6 for AlphaTauri with another one in P7. Wayne in the Ferrari. He will be full-time McLaren next season. Actually, he's just going to overtake another one who seems to have run out of fuel on the final lap of the race. Keep pushing. We'll actually jump ahead of another one, with Kev Prod, Kaz, Wella, and Spider completing the 13 remaining drivers of this race. Fireball will actually be classified as well, since he retired right at the end of the race. So anyway, that completes things here from the preseason race of LSR Group 3. A great one to start things off. A few incidents, but that's how it goes here in Monza. And we will move on to the official racing. Bamboo Vegas, driver of the day. Can definitely say he's had a great race today. So well done to Bamboo, who grabs the driver of the day. Here is the podium celebrations for Group 3. Our Group 2 Season 3 champion is going to be our race winner. P2 will go to Kevin Cal, and Bamboo Vegas will take P3. Now, reminder, these 3 drivers are a part of Group 2, so most likely they won't be racing too much during the Group 3 season. They can reserve in Group 1, though. So here we go. Podium celebrations here for the first Group 3 race. Champagne is being sprayed, as tradition, as the first Group 3 preseason race does end. I love the graphics actually on this game. I was able to see a little bit more of the down below than previous games. So wow, look at that top 3, all from 17th, 15th, and 16th from the back of the grid. Our Group 3 race winner is technically Kendricks in the Alfa Romeo, since he is our Group 3 driver. Then Albrecht in P5, Spenny P6, keep pushing P7, Wayne in P8, Kev Prod in P9, and another one completes the top 10 for AlphaTauri. So that pretty much completes things from Group 3. It's very late for some people. It's been a long day. We've had 2 races in LSR. Group 2 and Group 3 have happened. Group 2 wasn't able to stream their race, but it's all good. We will be streaming that one in due time, of course. But Group 3, in terms of when we will be racing Group 3, I will let you guys know, or myself or Kevin or anybody else in the admin team will be letting you guys know what is the situation for Group 3. Will it be racing at this time? Will it be racing at a different time? I don't know exactly at this moment. It really depended on attendance for this one. We got actually a lot of Group 3 drivers racing in attendance. We will do some polls as well, so please, Group 3 drivers, I urge you, please do reply to those polls. It would mean a lot, and it really does affect kind of how we're going to be racing and all that sort of thing. So please do so if we're going to be posting those. But, this is something that is pretty cool. We have a Group 3 finally in LSR. I've been wanting to get this for a while. I think we have enough drivers to be able to contest this. I think Kevin, myself, and the admin team have been doing a stellar job to get this underway. And the drivers as well. You guys have been showing up. I really didn't think we'd be getting like a almost full grid of Group 3. I was expecting like maybe 8 or 9 drivers for a preseason race, and that shows it's pretty cool. So anyway, that pretty much concludes things from LSR. I am Formula Jonah, signing off, co-owner of LSR, of course, and founder as well. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the live stream, and just wanted to let you guys know, next week, race is beginning. The full season of Season 4 begins February 4th. We will start out with our top division, Group 1. That will be the fastest drivers on track, and pretty much is going to be an exciting race. All 3 divisions will be taking place at the United States circuit, and that is the COTA great race as well. Kaz says, good job on comms. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming in to race, Kaz, and we hope to be seeing you throughout the Group 3 season. And thank you also for tuning in to the live stream as well. But yeah, we will be racing at the USA circuit, COTA, of course, on February 4th, Group 1, then Group 2, and then probably Group 3. We will let you guys know on when Group 3 is exactly happening in due time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say before we end this one off. I don't believe so. But what I can say is it's going to be an amazing season here in LSR. Really, really want to thank you all for just continuing to show your support on just racing, you know, and just showing up, and then also just for being in the league. The community is awesome. I really, really feel thankful to have so many people that really care about racing and just really care in general in the server. So really do appreciate that. But anyway, that concludes things. Like I mentioned, we will be live next week on Saturday for Group 1. The racing kicks off at USA for an amazing race that should be coming up for all 3 of our divisions. So I'm Formula Jonah signing off from Lightning Speed Racing. Have a great weekend as always. Great race week as well. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and week as well. And yep, that pretty much concludes things. Thanks again for racing, watching, all that, and I will see you all in the next one.